Okay, guys, hello and welcome back to Tuesday's market update. So, where were we yesterday? Yesterday we were in this green line, and we were talking about what our potential trades might be. We said we're looking for a reaction of this 4-hour high. We're looking for a reaction of this 4-hour swing low. But we also said in the case that the market breaks up, and in the case that the market breaks down, we're looking for a reaction, of the retracement of these breakouts. So we were looking for those regions for our next potential trade. All right. But we also said that we need to be aware of what's going on, in the bigger time frame. We know we've had a 4-hour highs, we've had a low, and we've had a 4-hour change in market structure to bullish. Okay. So the 4-hour market structure is still bullish, and we have to see what happens in this range to know what Bitcoin is going to do next. But there's not much to talk about at the moment, just simply because we are still within this range. Price is still mingling within this range, and it's not decided what it's going to do yet. And this is a very narrow range. If you can see, price has pretty much just played around this range for some time now. Okay, this is telling me that a reaction is around the corner. We're going to see what's going to happen in terms of whether price is going to go up or whether price is going to break down out of this range pretty soon. So trade number one I'm looking out for, it's quite straightforward. I'm looking for trade number one there, number two, number three, and number four. But bearing in mind, for each and every one of these trades, we're not just entering market, orders into these trades. We are waiting for our confirmations, and you have to always wait for your confirmation. Otherwise, you're kind of gambling your money away. So ensure that your confirmations are clear and you're waiting, you're patient, and you only pull that trigger once your confirmations are actually there. Now, what are your confirmations? Well, myself, I like to say market structure is probably one of the most important confirmation you can use. So wait for your market structure to, if it's bullish, wait for it to turn bearish. And if you're in a bear trend, wait for it to turn bullish. Okay. But there is something interesting I want to show you guys, and I want to see. Well, this is kind of an idea, something I've noticed in Bitcoin over the last 2 years. So let's see what's going on. Bitcoin seems to do a very interesting pattern, and I just want to show you. We're going to backtest, this pattern, and we're going to see just how frequent it happens. And this may be what Bitcoin is trying to do at the minute. All right. So to do that, we're going to go onto a different chart, and I'm just going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okie dokes. All right. So over here, what do we have here? Well, we have the pattern. This is it. This over here is what I've noticed, Bitcoin loves to do. This over here. All right. Now, for a lot of you, this makes no sense at the moment, and you're looking at this thinking, what is that? All right, so we're going to break it down step by step to see what's going on here. All right, so first thing first. Now, this pattern is quite common on an uptrend or on a downtrend, and it involves Bitcoin putting either a first low or a first high. For this scenario, we're going to think about what happens when we put in that first low. So it involves Bitcoin putting a low, and then once it's put in that low, Bitcoin forms a nice triangle, a nice triangular pattern. Okay, so first it puts in that low, and then it forms a nice triangular pattern. Now, what do we expect when we have, this accumulation taking place in this triangular pattern? Well, I'm sure most traders will be pulling out their trend lines over there, one, trend line there, number two, all right? And they will be thinking, well, in the case that this breaks up, all right, I'm going to have my target. And in the case that this breaks down, I'm going to have my target. But this pattern is different. It's different from that. It's not your standard pattern, all right? And let's see exactly how this pattern works. So what you need to do next is, of course, realize what your target of this breakout will be, okay? So your target would be from this trend line to that trend line, encompassing, all the peaks and all the troughs. And then we're going to take that target. In the case we're going, we're going to break out, assuming Bitcoin breaks out, we're going to take that target and put that target there. Just to recap, so we've had the bear trend, okay, we've had an accumulation, and that accumulation has formed a nice triangle, and we're expecting a breakout from that triangle. Now, in the case it breaks out, what I've noticed is that Bitcoin likes to react of the fib zone of that breakout. Bitcoin likes to use that target, the target of that trade, this long trade, as the entry for the short trade. What do I mean by that? We expect that break up, okay, but shortly after the breakup, this is what Bitcoin likes to do. It loves to rotate down, yeah, to that target, which is the top of our trend line. Okay, so what would this look like? Well, this would look like actually entering a trade at the target of your triangle. Okay, so we're not actually looking for the breakout. We're letting the breakout happen. We're saying, all right, cool, breakout. You know, we're just gonna watch to see where that target lies, and we're gonna enter our trade at that target. Okay, but now TJ, are we just gonna limit order? Are we just gonna enter the trade as soon as we hit that target mark? No, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna add confluence. And what is that confluence? Well, the first confluence I've noticed Bitcoin likes to do is Bitcoin likes to react from a fib level. So if we take a fib from that high, the previous high, the start of that bear trend to the low, okay, and we draw that out and we make sure that we are using the correct fib tool. So let's put that as, I'll put it as fib 3, okay. What I've noticed is that we usually get that target coming in at the 618 level. The target usually comes in at that 618 level. So let me just edit this so it's perfect. All right, there we have it. So we usually have that target coming in at the 618 level. So just to recap, we've had, you know, the bear trend, we've had the accumulation in a symmetrical triangle in this case, which kind of looks like a bear flag, right? And then we've had the breakout, okay, but we're expecting a reaction at this 618 level, all right? And not only, you know, can we use the fib as confluence in that situation, we could use a potential supply zone. So you may want to look into this leg down and see, do we have a supply zone perhaps over here? Do we have a supply zone over there? That's going to be the fuel, that's going to be the juice for that reaction. Okay, could be a 15-minute supply. Let's say in this case this is a 15-minute supply. All right, but this is the pattern. This is the pattern that I've noticed, and it's happened time and time and time and time again. So just to recap, what have we got? We've got a bear trend. Okay, we've got an accumulation. We've got a breakout. And we're looking to enter at the target of that breakout. So we're looking to enter over here. All right. Now let's just quick take a look at Bitcoin at the moment and see what it's doing, and you know, see if we may be getting something that looks like that. All right. So this is Bitcoin as presently constructed. Okay. So this is where we are at the moment. All right. So let's see. Can we locate that downtrend? Can we see that downtrend? Well, if we go on the 4-hour, we can take our bear trend to be this leg down. Okay, so we have this leg down. We're gonna make that thicker, just so it's clear. Exactly. Let's go for 4. Let's have that nice and thick. All right. This isn't perfect. But this is just to show you, is this potentially what's happening? Okay, so we've had the markdown, and what have we got over here now? Well, over here we've got our triangle forming. Okay, we've got our triangle forming. Let's just draw the other part of that triangle. Okay, so we've got our triangle forming. Okay. Now, what do we expect? Well, we expect a break out of this triangle. You know, we could break up, we could break down. It does not matter. Now, in the case we break up the target, let's say we break up from this level here, Obviously, it could happen here, it could happen here, it could happen here. We don't know yet. But let's say we break up here. Okay. Now the target is where we're looking to enter that short. And why are we entering a short? We're entering a short because we're expecting a rotation down to the top of that trend line. Right? Okay. Now that's the idea. But we have to look for confluence. Is there any high probability area where we can use as navigation as to, reinforce that trade idea? Well, let's look at the fib. We're going to take a fib from that high, take a fib pull from the high, down to the low. Okay, we've got a fib pull from the high down to the low, and we're going to drag that across. All right. Okay, so in this case, it's not exactly the 618, but it's that zone. It's that zone. The target is coming in on that zone, okay? And I find that is also a high probability play where you've got the target coming in at that zone, all right? Feel free to backtest this. Don't just take my word for it. Feel free to check this, and see that it's, lasted a test of time. But is this what Bitcoin is about to do at the moment? And if it is, we would be looking for a short anywhere in this region. We're looking for a short anywhere in this region, just to ride it. I mean, it's not crazy swing trade. It's just to ride it down, back to our triangle. Okay. Now let's take a look at, Bitcoin's history, and let's see when has this happened? When else has this occurred? Don't just, like I say, don't just take my word for it. Make sure you're back testing any idea that's proposed, on this channel. So here we have our first situation. I'm going to get rid of this, and I find this is quite prevalent on the 30 minutes. Okay, this is a quite prevalent one on the 30 minutes. I've seen it time and time again. So let's see what's happened here. So over here on the 30 minutes, what's happened? Well, we've got our markdown. We've got our markdown. Oh, I can't use this today. We've got our markdown. All right. Now we've got our triangle. Now we've broken down out of that triangle to that target. And what's happened after that? Well, after that, what's happened? Well, we've rotated back to that triangle. Okay. And where have we rotated back from? The 786 level. All right. That's situation number one. Let's take another look, see if we can find another one. Let's see if we can find another one. This is all over the place. All right, here we have it. We have another one over here. Okay, so let's see what's happened here. So what do we have here? Well, we have our down leg, our bear leg. We have our accumulation. Okay, we have a bull break out of that accumulation, out of that triangle. And the target of that break is within that zone. It's within our fib zone. Look at the fib. This is a fib that's drawn from this high down to this low. Okay? And what has happened after we have tagged that fib? Well, we've had a rotation downwards. Okay? So where would we have entered that trade? We would have entered that trade around there. Okay? So that's another example. Let's see if we can find any others. Okay, here we have the bullish example. All right, so what's happened here, TJ? Well, we've had the up leg, we've had a triangle. This would be the target. This would be how we work at the target. We've hit the target down. It's come back down to our fib level, and we have rotated up. Okay, so where would we have entered that trade? We would have entered that long trade around there. Okay, of course you can look for other confirmation at that level. I think it's wise at that level. Are we getting any market cipher divergences? Are we getting a change in market structure at that level? Okay, so that's it. That's the strategy, and it's a really good strategy because it happens time and time and time and time again. So feel free to backtest this and let me know, what percentage or how frequently you found this to be the case in Bitcoin, say in the last year or in the last 2 years or even in the last few months. Like I said, I've backtested this for the 30 minutes, but please feel free to do this for any other time frame. Okay, so there we have it. Just to summarize what we're looking at the moment in terms of the market, well, we're still in this 4-hour range, aren't we? So because we're in this 4-hour range, we're waiting to see what price is going to do next. Is it going to react off these range extremes, or is it going to break out, and can we get in at the retracement next? All right, so there you have it. Remember, Remember to always practice really good risk management as you enter these trades, and make sure you are waiting for your confirmations. Okay? Well, I'll see you tomorrow. Feel free to follow for some more videos like this.